E101 from Sonic the Podcast here with what I think are the top 10 most underrated tracks of the franchise. A lot of these come from games not in the mainline series that I don't think have had the recognition or celebration that they deserve for their brilliance. Music is a massive part of the Sonic franchise, whether it's for bosses, cutscenes, stages or character themes, and has always been a big part of the appeal for me. Hopefully this shines a light on some of the more underappreciated offerings the talented composers of the Sonic franchise have produced over the years. First up, coming in strong at 10th place with a controversial and much maligned game, Final Boss Imperator X from Sonic Chronicles. This is a long boss fight track. If you look through the admittedly terrible sound mix on the DS, there is a truly unique boss theme in there, with the intensity and chaos that Imperator X, leader of the mysterious Nocturnus Echidna clan, deserves. It starts off with some gnarly percussion, almost like a militaristic parade with electronic kick and a faint metallic tick. It's intimidating, unrelenting and raw. Then you get a distorted club-like synth beat that dominates the melody and just screams hardcore. But the best part is the breakout that has oscillating synths, heavy industrial riffs and apocalyptic percussion that does not let up. It really gives you this feeling of fighting against an absolute force of military and almost otherworldly power, capturing that sense of a true final showdown with the big bad. X himself is an underrated and an incredibly sinister and violent villain, but that's for a whole different topic. If we were ever treated to a full orchestral rendition of this, I reckon it would be unbelievably good. Next up, in 9th place, Music Plant Act 1 from Sonic Advance 2. This is an absolute banger of a stage theme for the Game Boy Advance. I remember when I first heard it, I was instantly drawn in. It's bright, it's bouncy, it's nostalgic, and above all, incredibly playful, just like the stage you're running through. It's got a solid bass line that tingles with synths and a counter melody that's like a whimsical and excited flute. There's a carnival-like feel because of the interlocking arpeggios and really captures the bright neon aesthetic in audio form. It makes you feel, much like the stage itself, like you are running through a giant instrument. It's surprisingly layered when you really listen. The piano notes and flute melody weave around each other in this jazzy, funky madness that builds as the song goes on. In 8th place, Rusty Ruin Act 1 from Sonic 3D Blast Flicky's Island, the Saturn or PC version. What an absolute dream from Richard Jacques, pushing the boundaries of the Saturn's audio capabilities into the stratosphere. This track has what I feel modern Sonic games has completely lost. Mystery, intrigue, ancient ruins with an organic pulse. To be fair, Sonic Frontiers gives us some of this while exploring the 5 islands, but those are more like hub worlds rather than level stages. Nothing in this song communicates urgency. The focus is exploratory and captures the feeling of moving through ancient, overgrown ruins that you don't fully understand. That inspiring opening with the kaleidoscope notes eases you into the zone before hitting you with a delightful fusion of a pan flute style synth, warm electronic piano chords that gives it a jazzy smoothness, and tribal chanting that imbues the whole vibe with a sense of awe. It evokes loss and sadness, but also gives you, as the player, a sense of purpose through that reliable swing rhythm of the percussion. Bring this stuff back. It works so well in Sonic levels as an always refreshing pace changer. Now this is a rogue one in 7th. The intro music for Sonic Shuffle is quite frankly one of a kind. This track is extraordinary. Admittedly a deeply flawed game, the incredibly unique OST is enough of a reason to play it. Everything about this bizarre entry into the franchise is captured in the intro song that plays over the unhinged opening cinematic. It's a fusion of acid jazz, funk, and late 90s dance pop, a syncopated fever dream that takes you in 100 different directions. It is so late 90s it actually transcends itself. Some crazy and very catchy electronic piano and synth dominates the melody, especially towards the end as it builds to its climax with flourish after flourish. The whole track oozes optimism and nostalgia as Sonic and friends launch themselves into the absolute dream world insanity of Imaginary World. It's so Japanese, it's so groovy, and I love it. This game couldn't have had any other kind of music. I would highly recommend a listen and a revisit. Next up is a niche one. It's a cutscene theme from Sonic Rush called Event Blaze. There is something just so good about this music. It's really hard to pin down. It's got a kind of built-in joy that just stays with you and captures the happiness of this era of Sonic games. But it also adds to Blaze's character. It's delivered through a warm electro piano with a jazz turnaround progression that never fully resolves, a classic Sonic audio motif. When you dig under the main melody, there's a complex series of bass, strings, and percussive beats going on that gives this track this reflective, excited but bittersweet feeling that's difficult to capture. It matches Blaze's character arc. She's aloof, above everyone around her, and has to learn empathy from Sonic. The track has a spoken quality, almost like it's in conversation with itself. Blaze's terse, regal mood conveyed through the staccato jazz beat, while Sonic's influence answers through the whimsical rising pitch. I love the electro-jazz bluesy feel that is so unique to this game. We're halfway, and coming in strong at number 5, we have an absolute swinging banger. Blast Town, 80s 90s Boulevard, from Sonic Riders Zero Gravity, the secret track that you unlock that's a Sega-verse city acid trip. What an outrageously good song. A polished blend of retro futuristic funk, city pop nostalgia, and late night arcade energy. And wow, that sax is special. I wish we saw more of this instrument in Sonic levels. It's always such a welcome sound. Gliding bass, snazzy vocal samples, and those xylophone-like synth notes are a blissful earworm scratching at your brain in a way that feels so good. It is just incredibly cool. It's got some very tight percussion that borders on drum and bass, and a crazy syncopated slap-style synth bass with a full arsenal of FX, beautifully integrated. If you close your eyes, you can see a neon cityscape whizzing by, Sega billboards flashing, hectic traffic, looming skyscrapers, and the metro that whizzes by as you jump up on its roof on your extreme gear. It really was the best time to be a Sonic fan. The composer was all-star Fumi Kumatani, who would go on next to compose some absolute standout tracks for Sonic Unleashed. You can hear a lot of that game in this track, Empire City being an obvious analogue. And speaking of Sonic Unleashed, in 4th place, I've got one of the most underrated boss fight tracks of all time, Dark Gaia Spawn Battle from Sonic Unleashed. No, don't worry, not the combat music, just the boss fight music that plays when you battle Dark Gaia Phoenix, Moray, and Guardian. Just give this a listen on full volume and bask in its completely unrelenting momentum. Listen to that percussion beat at the start that sounds like a wild beast running towards you at full pelt. The beats are non-metronomic, they rush slightly ahead of each other every few bars, which creates a sense of galloping urgency. Then the brass kicks in and sounds like it's yelling threats at you, bearing down and warming up to unleash a full force attack. And then it breaks out into an insane brass fanfare that makes you feel like all hell is breaking loose. It builds tension with the French horns, kicking off like an earthquake and hitting you with the auditory equivalent of a stampeding herd of trumpeting elephants. It's immense, an ancient and unstoppable power, no better shown in visual form than the blazing Dark Gaia Phoenix streaking across your screen. It has everything a good boss fight music should have and more, and it's also just so Sonic Unleashed, and for that, I can't get enough of it. Third place, brace yourself, it's Toxic Caves from Sonic Spinball. That's the very first level. What an absolutely stinky beat this is. Let's unpack what's going on in this weird and wacky game. It's an industrial, very funky and very catchy level theme to the sewers that lie underneath the extraordinary Veggio Fortress. It evokes machinery chugging along down in the dirt with its industrial funk and heavy FM brass riffs and percussive synth hits. Once again, the melody never really resolves. Just like the pinball stage, it plays over and over as you loop over and over to try and find the way through. It gives you a sense of claustrophobia and being pushed down. There's a really cool call and response between the melody and the bass. One melody ascends sharply and the other answers with a low slap-style descent. There's like a dialogue going on between all the composite parts of the track that I think is what gives it that groovy uniqueness. The bass line is just epic and somehow really captures the feeling of falling and tumbling around the toxic caves as a sonic pinball. It's an astonishingly textured song for what it is when you really pick apart all the FX going on, and it deserves to be celebrated. Okay, second place, back to another boss fight. This one deserves so much more recognition than it's got. It's Guardian Ghost from Sonic Frontiers. Listening to this at full volume is possibly one of the most intense musical experiences I've ever had in my life. And then I listened to Ghost Plus from the DLC. It's more of the same, but cranked up into overdrive. This plays during the optional boss fight when you have to chase a manic pulsating nightmare through a pre-made obstacle course while it drains all your rings. I think this might be one of the best boss tracks of all time. The genius of this song is the swing elements, through the spiraling piano notes blended up with aggressive offbeat drum and bass-like broken pattern. You've got tight, punchy electro drums that don't give up, a growly synth bass, and glitch FX stutters to create an effect akin to a 1920s swing band that's trapped inside a digital haunted pinball machine. I love that opening slam that gives you a cold open and throws you right into the action. Around the 1:30 mark, it launches you off into absolute chaos, layering the swing-like piano notes over and over, escalating into total chaos that somehow still holds a melody together that gives you the impression of being just about to break apart. It is a perfect fit for this boss. Playful, sinister, teasing, unrelenting, and conjures a feeling of pure panic. A masterful, genre-bending and ridiculously intense piece that's enough to induce either a mental breakdown or complete transcendence. First place, in my opinion, of all the underrated songs, this is my favourite. Can You Feel the Sunshine always steals the limelight for Sonic R's iconic vocal track offering. It's time to give Living in the City the praise it deserves. The track plays in Radical City, the second course in Sonic R, an iconic Richard Jacques TJ Davis team-up. It's 90s nostalgia in audio form. It's got that delicious house beat with a little snare that immediately gives you a sense of optimism and momentum. Some iconic 90s synth notes going on in the background with an electro piano that shines through. It's got such a rich and busy texture that makes it fit the urban environment you're racing through and TJ is singing about. The highlight of the track is the bridge starting in the sky at night, the stars are shining bright. The momentum of the track pauses, creating a natural break that builds itself back up, evoking an explosion of city lights as TJ blasts that she's here to make it right. The lyrics themselves capture the essence of Sonic's philosophy. It's about freedom, dreaming, seeing the best in people, and getting the most out of life, while racing through a bright cityscape at night. Yes, it's repetitive and just incredibly 90s Sega, but I can't get enough of it. Every time I hear it, I'm a happy child, just living the dream that's being sung about to race through the mountainous Radical City to find 5 balloons or unlock puppet tails, and I suspect it'll have that effect for the rest of my life. Thank you for listening. Please like and subscribe and give our podcast a listen, where myself and co-host E102 discuss every single Sonic game in great detail as two hardcore fans and rank every level from worst to best.